I'm so glad we got this history project together. It's really nice to do this special assignment with your friends.
Definitely. It makes things so much easier.
For sure. So, what exactly is our project about? I kinda stopped listening once I heard we were working together.
Now that would be you.
Be nice, Zhen. I can totally understand your excitement, Sade. So, Miss Hasselback wants us to present two women in history to the class for Women's History Month. She gave each group a list of names to pick from so we don't have duplicates being presented. Was there anyone that stood out to you?
I know who I want to pick from our list.
Who is that, Zhen?
Miss Amelia Earhart.
Nice choice, Zhen. She was known for being a female pilot.
Yes, her desire to become a pilot came to her as a young woman at a fair when she saw a plane dive towards her, then fly away. She said she felt like the plane spoke to her.
That's pretty cool, having your career spoken to you like that. Wasn't she the 16th woman in America to get her pilot's license?
Yes, she was. After working various jobs to earn $1,000 to take flight lessons, she achieved her goal of becoming a pilot.
She sure does have a strong level of determination.
Yup, and it didn't end there. Amelia built her aviation career on setting records and challenging herself.
So cool. What is she most well known for, though?
In 1928, she was part of a team who crossed the Atlantic, and this gave her the drive to make the trip herself. In 1932, she accomplished this by becoming the first woman to cross the Atlantic Ocean all by herself.
What an awesome feat.
Yes, but her life did have some tragedy.
You're right, Lucky. Amelia attempted to challenge herself again by flying a plane around the world in 1937. She didn't complete her goal because her plane was lost at sea.
That's really sad.
It is, but Amelia Earhart's life has inspired many young girls to be persistent when trying to achieve their goals.
Despite her tragic end, her life influenced many. Sade, is there anyone on the list that interests you?
Yep, there sure is. Take a guess.
Really, Sade? You can't just tell us?
This way is so much funner. How about I give you a hint? It's my favorite flower and my favorite place to go. Roses and amusement parks? Yep, you got it. Rosa Parks. Very cute and clever, Sade.
Only you would come up with that.
You are probably right, and that's what makes me unique, just like Mrs. Rosa Parks. She was a civil rights activist whose actions helped start the Montgomery bus boycott in 1955. Pause. Wondering what the word boycott means? It's to ban, avoid using, and refuse to use. Resume. Before we can discuss Rosa Parks' contributions, we have to explain how people were living during that time. This was the time during the segregated South, which is when everything was separate between white and black people. Though things were meant to be separate but equal, they very rarely were.
Black people weren't treated equally. In 1900, Montgomery's bus system was separated. White people could sit in the front while black people had to sit in the back. The law stated that once a person had a seat and the bus was full, no person had to give up their seat. Over time, however, a custom emerged where the bus driver would make black passengers move and give up their seat when the whites-only section was full.
That's a great description of how things were during that time. So, on December 1st, 1955, Parks boarded a bus to go home after a long day of work. She sat down in the first row designated Black people. After some time, the front section of the bus filled up, and the driver moved the Blacks Only sign one row behind Mrs. Parks. He then told the four people in that row to move further back. Three of the men moved, but Rosa did not. She remained seated. When the driver asked Mrs. Parks why she wouldn't move, she said she didn't believe she had to move. He then called the police to have Rosa Parks arrested. She was later bailed out by the black leaders in the community. Mrs. Parks wasn't the only one who refused to give up her seat. In the months before her arrest, other people had refused to give up their seats as well.
Yep, But the bus boycott was built around Mrs. Parks' defiance.
Leaders in the community wanted to use what happened to Rosa to start the bus boycott so they could make a change to the bus system and segregation. On December 4th, 1955, the news of the bus boycott was spread through churches to get the word out to the people. The next day, December 5th, Rosa Parks was charged and found guilty of disorderly conduct. She appealed her conviction to challenge the system of racial segregation. This was the first day of the boycott. The Montgomery bus boycott lasted 381 days. Black residents would walk for miles or rode together to get around during this time. The boycott crippled the bus company's finances. They finally got rid of the bus segregation laws on December 21st, 1956.
It's pretty amazing how her actions on one night started such a huge change in American history.
Yup, and it's said that Mrs. Parks was just fed up of not being treated fairly. She was tired of always giving in. She felt like the mistreatment of blacks had gone on too long, and by following these rules, the worst things would get. So she felt enough was enough. Both these women were so strong in their own way, paving a path for the women of the future. That way we would be in a position to change the world as well.
Ladies, I think we got everything we need for our presentation.
I think you're right, Zhen. Yup, we've got everything. We just need to clean things up and practice a bit, and we'll be done. That was a lot easier and faster than I thought it would be.
Yep, when you're working with friends, it typically is like that.
She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future. Proverbs chapter 31, verse 23.